It's time to mind your business with me, Jamila Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here. Welcome to Mind Your Business.
Okay.
You remember me. I'm your host,
Yes.
Jamila Lodge. And with me, we have Jakai Regis, Operation Manager for IBC Bermuda Limited. So today we're going to talk a little bit about this new partnership that BEDC and ZipX has. But can you start with talking about why that was important for you to reach out to BEDC and establish this partnership?
So one of our marketing strategies is to go out to businesses, just see what their needs are as far as shipping and things like that, in relation to our business. And when we started to market with some of the smaller businesses, we saw where the demand was, we saw where they were looking to save money and different things like that. And I was aware of the BEDC and, what you guys offer in terms of aiding small businesses. So a conversation was had, and we decided we wanted to be a part of that as well. So
yeah, I mean, we definitely appreciate it because we recognize that a lot of businesses, they do need shipping, right? We're an island, so how else are you going to get your products and services in? So how have you seen how high shipping costs impact small businesses in Bermuda? What's been your experience?
Well, shipping costs, especially for a business, it's obviously going to affect the price point to their consumers. What they have to charge. So ultimately, that affects business because if you don't have a competitive or an appealing price point to your consumers, how are you going to convince them to buy from you versus hey, I can just ship this in myself or whatever.
Right.
So. Offering a discount to the smaller businesses who are trying to get started or try to get ahead. Allows them to cut costs, on their end so that,
Yeah, I mean, pay it forward, right?
Yes.
So if they're able to save money, they can be more competitive, I would say,
Yes.
right?
And not only that, if the savings can go towards other business expenses,
Correct.
wherever they need to use that savings that they're going to get.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great because I know that historically, whenever we meet with businesses and talk with small businesses, the cost of doing business in Bermuda seems to be a recurring issue, right? And so we are like, well, how can we support you and how can we help you save on that? And it seems like you guys have the same sort of approach, which is great. So what sets the partnership between BEDC apart from any other kind of initiatives that you've offered to your customers?
So I think with using ZipX, what we offer is already a great package for whether it's a commercial business or the everyday consumer, in that we already offer the lowest shipping costs. Our first pound shipping cost is the lowest.
Okay.
We follow that up with the per pound rate, which is the lowest as well. We even have a featherweight tier for people that are just bringing in little small objects. It might be something quick you need that's under a pound. So we have a separate rate for that none of our competitors offer. We don't charge any membership fees. So we're already giving you all-around savings and, a great deal with ZipX. Of course, we follow that up with our customer service and everything else that's involved with our business.
So you're like, we're the best shipping company around.
So we're offering you this package, and we're offering that to commercial and to the everyday consumers. But we've decided to also offer a discount to some of the smaller businesses that may be struggling or need that aid to get some goods in. So
yeah, and I think it's great that you're willing to do that because, like you said, you already consider yourselves the lowest shipper, right? Because you don't do it's not by by weight or by size.
So
what are the different ways?
Weight only. We don't do dimensional weight. In a sense, dimensional weight may aid people in that. I think it's more offered with like consolidation and stuff like that, which we don't offer. But what a lot of people don't understand with dimensional weight is most shipping companies will actually charge you the greater of.
Right, so it's either or, whichever
so
one
if
is
they're
more.
consolidating your packages and they're putting it into one big box.
Yeah.
By the time they calculate that dimensional weight, if that's greater than the weight of the actual items that are in there, they're going to charge you that.
Okay.
So we don't do dimensional weight. We just charge you what the weight is, instead of we avoid the whole gimmick of dimensional weight and
Yeah.
consolidation. Consolidation does benefit sometimes, as far as being able to get all your packages at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are willing to pay more for that, then fine. There are competitors that offer that, but with Zipax, we just like to be straightforward.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Simple
Yes.
is probably best anyway. So what is it? What are your expectations? What do you hope happens with this partnership with BEDC?
So like I said, we recognize like the different resources, tools, et cetera, that BEDC offer to aid in small businesses, entrepreneurs, and stuff like that. So the partnership was to be that extra, like something extra that we can offer to the community of small businesses that can aid them. So basically, with the partnership, it's to be a part of that assistance, to the local businesses and stuff, because.
Can you talk a little bit about what local businesses are going to get?
So it is an exclusive BEDC discount. So you have to be registered with the BEDC. Obviously, you sign up for a Zipax account as well, and then we'll give you a percentage.
Is
off
there
of
a
your
cost
shipping
to sign
costs.
up for a Zipex account?
No, free membership.
Okay.
So,
Same here, free membership.
yes.
The key, I think, to note is that this is for registered small businesses.
Yes.
So not just you yourself, you want to bring in them shoes for this event you're coming
Yes,
up.
exactly.
But the discount is extended to businesses. So if you are a registered business and you have a registered business license number with BEDC, then that's what you would use, right?
And it also helps businesses, encourage them to go about the proper channels of, starting off their business and making sure that they're registered and whatnot. So
I would agree. I mean, sometimes you have the little side hustle.
Yes, yes.
Checking out to see if it'll work. But once you determine that it is something you want to do, something that is a going concern, we like to call it, then you want to register properly. And for registering, you get benefits, right? And this partnership with Zipex is one of those benefits. You get an additional discount off of your shipping when you enter your business license number in the application, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, officially, this was launched, what was it, 2 weeks ago or a week ago?
2 weeks.
Okay, so how has it been? How's the reception been so
the
far?
response has been good. There's a process verifying that the businesses are registered and different things like that. So, thank you to those that have reached out, and thank you for your patience in working with us to, get the program up and started.
Yeah.
But it's been going well. So we just want to remind everyone else, if you're not aware or if you are aware, you just aren't sure what to do. Everything's on our website. The processes are there. You can even call into our customer service. It's 295-2467.
Okay.
You can ask questions. Anyone will be more than willing to assist you with the process. So we have a full team available to assist people that aren't sure. Like I said, and everything's on our website, zipax.bm. I believe you guys have links as well.
On our website as well,
yes.
bedc.bm. And what I will say is because some people might be confused, right? People are able to sign up to BEDC to be a member even if they don't have a business, right? Because we do educational courses, we do incubators and things like that. So you might be considering starting a business. You could still be a member of BEDC. The difference is that if you are an existing business, you will get a different number.
Yes.
And that's the number that you are looking for to be able to validate that they are a BEDC business. And that's the number that you put into your application form.
Correct.
Which is on your website.
Yes.
And you said it's free, right?
Yes. Yeah, so it's not just for BEDC members, it's actually for the BEDC registered businesses.
Yes.
So just to make that clear.
Clear,
yes.
Exactly. Because people be like, I tried to sign up and I didn't get. If you don't have a BL number, then you probably have not completed that registration process. And like I said, it is free to become a BEDC registered business. Just go on our website and you can fill that out. Once you get the number, go on your website, fill out a free application, and then next thing you know, savings are happening.
And membership for us is almost instant. So once you're signed up, you're free to use your Zipax account, and get that shipping started.
So in your experience, outside of the shipping costs, what are some of the other challenges that you have experienced with businesses? What are some of the other things that they've said to you?
So in the shipping business, shipping is just one of the costs. There are other costs associated with importing goods. Obviously you got duty. Everything's dutiable. So depending on what that is, that's a high cost as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other fees and things,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that are associated with shipping in goods. So, like I said, we were able to offer a discount on the shipping part of it, which we're more than happy to do. But we all understand there's business expenses
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
It
Whether
is.
you're a e-commerce business or you have a brick and mortar, you got rents, you got light bills, you
Yep.
got, there's some sort of expense. Paying wages, paying
Mm-hmm.
yourself, whatever. So
There's no escaping it,
yes.
unfortunately. But I appreciate the fact that ZipX has taken that into consideration. And
Hmm.
at the end of the day, like we're wanting small businesses to be able to scale,
Hmm.
right? We recognize that the costs associated because we're on an island and you have to bring in everything, mostly
Exactly. Yeah.
everything, that it can be prohibitive for some. But I'm hopeful that with this partnership,
Hmm.
it does create, like you said, people have more disposable income, right, to reallocate to the other cost of doing business.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm hopeful that that is what happens.
Yeah, and sometimes there's also challenges in getting the goods. So, for instance, I had someone reach out. They just had a hard time getting a particular product
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't able to use a freight forwarder. So they
Okay.
needed a U.S. address. So that's the benefit of using ZipX as well. We have
Okay.
access to our U.S. address, which is in Delaware. It's tax free. So we can get your goods there, process them, and get them to Bermuda for your needs.
Okay.
Because not all the time people are able to use, other
Yeah, it's
avenues.
true.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they say, "Oh, we only ship within the United States," right?
Yeah.
So they're not shipping to Bermuda.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit more about how ZipX works, what that process is like?
Okay, so like I said, we have our U.S. address. It's
Mm-hmm.
located in Delaware, which is tax free. So once you sign up for a ZipX account, you have access to that address.
Okay.
So when you're shipping, you're going to use that address to purchase your goods. The goods get sent there, processed. Once they are processed, you'll get prompted for your invoices and paperwork. Once that part's processed, your items are bagged and ready for import to Bermuda. So that usually ends up in a 24 to 48-hour period.
Okay.
But like I said, our process is pretty quick.
And what's the frequency of you bringing the goods in?
So
So,
daily during the week. So there aren't no the cargo flights don't operate on the weekend. So
okay.
it's Monday to Friday operations. Um, then
So
we.
if I am a business and I go on and place an order today,
Mhm.
it's Thursday. When should I expect it to be landed in Bermuda?
So again, it's just a matter of getting it to, because just like any consumer, when you're
Mm-hmm.
online shopping, it kind of gives you a date of when it's going to arrive to
Right.
that address. So whatever date it tells you, once it gets to our U.S. address, we try our best to process it instantly.
Okay.
So once it gets there, we're looking to get it on the next day's plane.
Okay.
So we process it. So like I said, within 24 hours or so, you're getting access to your goods. And once it lands in Bermuda, we also have a team that tries their best to process it that day.
What
So
about like customs? Do you have your own customs?
yes,
Okay.
we have customs on site, so everything gets processed there. So again, as long as you have submitted all of the correct paperwork and
Mm-hmm.
there's no issues or delays, even in the delay of the plane arriving,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you kind of have access to your goods that day, like in
Okay.
the afternoon. And then we have our express center, which is open on Saturdays as well, so you
Mm-hmm.
can still pick up your goods on the weekend. And
Okay.
yeah.
So you mentioned the right paperwork. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know sometimes, it'll be here and maybe because they haven't submitted the right paperwork, they can't get the goods from you.
Hmm.
So can you talk about what is required so you guys can get the goods to the
So that invoice has to have all the correct information.
Okay.
The correct information is all the shipper's information, so where it came from, their address, their contact information. It has to have the correct pricing,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes even it's so even if something is free or a sample, you
Yeah.
have to add a value to it. Unfortunately,
Really?
yes, you do.
Is
There.
there a minimum amount of value? Can it be 1 cent?
So you add a value. You usually submit like a letter or something, just for customs records, so that and then they do their investigations to make sure that is the case as far as
Okay.
duty free. But you have to submit, because a lot of people will send an invoice of a zero value, and
Yeah.
that's not accepted, and then it causes delays of customs and
Interesting. I
different
mean,
things
that's
like
a good
that.
point to make
Yeah.
because I would imagine there are a lot of people in Bermuda that produce their own goods, but they need the raw goods to come in,
Hmm.
right? And so, in that instance, where I'm just getting samples of the product, I'm just getting samples of the item, I'm not being charged for it. So in my mind, I'm thinking a zero invoice would be sufficient. But you're saying no, you can't do
Yeah, there
that
needs to be some sort of value, but then we usually ask people for like a letter or some sort of information, just
from the vendor or
stating
something.
why. Yes, from the vendor, stating why it's free or what it
Yeah.
is and all of that, and then
And would an
they
email
process
suffice?
it.
Like
Yeah.
if okay, all
Yes.
right. So if the letter accompanies the zero invoice to
Hmm.
show this is why because whatever
Right. Why it
whatever.
should be duty free or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Okay. All right.
That helps with that process. But for everyday shipping, make sure that your items have the correct values
Mhm.
outside of that, and making sure that it has your information,
Okay.
your name, your shipping address, and whatnot. That also helps us here when it gets here. Like if you're gonna get delivery or something like
Mhm.
that, because it happens often where we get products and someone's moved to locations or somewhere.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get the delivery, we're gonna go by what's
On the
on the
what you
shipping
filled
label and
out.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So just making sure that your information is up to date
Mhm.
as far as shipping, contact information. A lot of times people have addresses but no contact.
Mhm.
We're not just gonna throw your goods somewhere. We want to make sure we have a point of contact.
Well,
And
that's good to know.
yeah.
Talk a little bit about like the customs piece because I know at one point it's the CAPS ID, right? If I'm saying everybody has to have one of
Yes,
those
everyone
now,
has to
right?
have a trader's ID, CAPS ID, in your name, your address. Make sure that information's up to date as well.
Okay.
So if you had a trader ID and you had your business or your home in a specific address and you
Mhm.
moved, make sure that you call in and have that information updated as well.
Got you.
And then please know that everyone has to have their own individual CAPS ID as well.
So you personally, as an
Yes.
individual, as well as the business.
As well as the business, and you personally, as well as, let's say, if you were purchasing goods or one of your family members,
Mhm.
whoever's name the goods are in has to have a CAPS ID, or the CAPS ID has to be
Oh.
registered under
So
their
it's not
name
like
as
a
well.
family ID
No, I mean, I don't know if government allows you to register multiple names
under one ID.
but you need to make sure that it is associated
Whatever they
with that.
okay.
That information, I think, will be provided on government's website, or you
Yes.
can just call customs. I don't have all the details as far as that's concerned. But
Okay.
I do know as far as processing shipments, make
You
sure your
need that
information
ID.
is, yes.
Okay, got you. Well, that's helpful because I do think like sometimes that could be a delay. It's like the goods are here, you've
Right.
done everything you needed to do, but if the entrepreneur doesn't provide you with the correct information,
Yes,
that causes
because I know it's
delays.
frustrating, especially when you're doing business and you want to bring in goods. But from our standpoint, you have to understand that if sometimes you can be the cause of the delay if you're not providing the correct.
Don't be mad at me.
information.
You be like, look, we want to
But
help you.
we do our best to assist people regardless.
Yeah.
If you run up in any obstacles, we talk you through it. We make sure we get the right information and we do our best to get that process for you. So
Cool. So I'm going to ask you about the trend of businesses having e-commerce sites and all of that. And just wondering if it influences ZipX strategy with regard to shipping at all. And if so, how?
so e-commerce is business as well.
Yeah.
There's just no physical location or whatever. So the strategy works for all types of business. Importing goods. Yes, the everyday consumer can probably go online and purchase the goods themselves. But for an e-commerce business, with us offering this discount, you may be able to offer it to them at a lower price point,
Okay.
or have it more on hand and available as opposed to them going through that waiting process and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the benefits that this program offers to those type of businesses.
You're like, everybody, e-commerce,
Yes.
ship.
Yes.
The more the merrier. All right, so what advice would you give entrepreneurs? So this is maybe a new up and coming entrepreneur. They're just starting out. They're wanting to start bringing in products. What would you say to them in terms of readying themselves for this process?
Do your research, get your information. Like I said, we have tools and people available to give you the correct information as far as importing goods. BDC has tools and resources available as far as the business aspects and different things. So use the resources that are out there for you, and and
Do you research?
yeah, pretty much.
Know before you go, right? And so I think that's interesting too, because I know in conversations we've had before, you talked a lot about customer service
Hmm.
and how that separates you. That is one of your differentiating factors.
Yeah,
Because there are other shippers on the island. Can you
exactly.
talk a little bit about the importance of that and how small business owners can utilize your customer service and customer support?
Right. So, like I said, we have a full team. Outside of that team, anyone in management is more than willing to assist you. But our team can answer any questions, give you any guidance. When it comes to the business, importing goods, passing on information, making sure things that are processed, are processed properly and so forth. So, we do have a great team in customer service. And that's not just customer service. So we have a team that answers phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
We have the front end customer service. And then we also have our delivery drivers because that's part of the service as well. So that's
Right.
customer service. They go out there and they're actually dealing with the customers
Mm-hmm.
or delivering the goods and whatnot. So all around, everything needs to work together. And,
Mm-hmm.
we try our best to offer a great experience as far as that's concerned.
That's good. So I can just call up and start asking questions, and y'all not
Yes.
gonna be mad. Okay,
Yes.
that's good to know. So I do want to ask you a bit more about um, the actual receiving and bringing the goods in, the size of the goods, and all of that, and the weight. Or do you have any limits for what I can bring in?
So there are no limits that I know of. I've seen couches,
Okay.
95-inch TVs, washers, dryers. Um, it's a different part of the business, but ZipX also does pets. So we bring in
Oh,
horses. We
okay.
bring in,
You bring in horses?
yeah, if people are trying to get their horses in and out of Bermuda
Okay.
through the states, as long as it's
Yeah.
through the states.
Yeah.
We do that. We've had people bring in dogs and whatnot. But as far as products, no real limits. There's a
As long as it's legal.
couch, exercise. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. There's an exercise machine in the warehouse now, couches, different things. So, and then we do the weight. We do have commercial bulk shipping that we offer for commercial accounts.
Okay.
This is separate from the BDC program
Yes.
partnership, but that's another avenue that we offer to commercial businesses. That offers a different rate and whatnot.
Right, right.
For people that might have bulkier items and stuff
Right,
like that.
right. Okay. Well, that's good to know. It looks like you're trying to cover all the bases,
Yes.
which I think is good.
Yeah.
We want the small businesses to grow to be like a commercial customer.
Yeah.
And I think if they can join you early on, they can just stay with you throughout the entire process. I would imagine that's something that you would
Yes.
love to see happen. So, what kind of feedback are you hoping to get from businesses using the discount, and how will it shape the future of this particular program?
Um, well, we want to know that they are benefiting from it,
Mhm.
so how exactly it's benefiting, and if there's any other assistance we can offer or, you know, BDC can offer or whatever.
Okay.
Feedback would be great, not only on the discount end, but we also like feedback on, how the customer service end.
Mm-hmm.
How you're being handled. Are you getting your shipments on time? Are you getting the information that you need?
Mhm.
And, just are you getting the ZipX experience?
Right,
So,
right. Okay,
yeah.
and the ZipX experience is.
It's just everyday low shipping costs and great customer service.
Okay,
So,
all right.
yeah.
So if you can tick those boxes, then it's working for you.
Yes.
So in terms of the feedback that you get, if you hear from small businesses that they need something else or they're looking for additional support, how amenable are you to making adjustments or changing or creating even new programs to support them?
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely take the feedback into consideration, and if it's within our power to do so, we'll do our best to make adjustments accordingly. So.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of operate that way as well.
Yes.
It's like a lot of the products and services that we currently offer are based off of feedback that we've gotten from entrepreneurs that we've worked with over the years. And it changes. I'm telling you, like what we did, I don't know, 15 years ago when I first got here is completely different than what we do now. And I think it's necessary because
Yeah.
the business landscape changes. I'm sure, how long has ZipX been around?
23 years.
So I'm sure 23 years ago,
Yes.
what you were doing and the needs were a lot different than what they are now.
Yes.
So that you guys are willing to adjust and modify your programming as needed. I think it's really good, and it
Yes.
speaks to the
And
company.
I think all feedback is necessary.
Yeah.
No one likes negative feedback, but it also helps you grow as a business
Yes.
because it allows you to know where you dropped the ball, what you're doing wrong, what you can do better. Like
And
I
do
said.
you have a mechanism for people to give you that feedback? Like, how do they tell you what you need to know? Are you asking them? Is there a survey? Like, how
Like
does
I said,
that work?
we have our customer service line, so people do call in. They
Yeah,
call
okay.
in, when they're upset where things are going wrong. We talk them through it.
Yeah.
And via system, you can email us. You can email management. You can,
Okay.
there's a general customer service email address. You can send feedback in. You can call. So.
Okay. So what's the
and
number?
we are responsive to that. So the number is 295-2467.
Okay.
You can email info@zipx.pm
Okay.
or zipxalert at, I'm sorry, info@ibcbda.com
Okay.
or zipxalert@ibcbda.com.
Okay. And if they can't remember what you just said,
Yes. Best way is to call
can-
in. We can provide that
Yes.
information as well, or it's on our
On the
website,
website.
zipx.pm.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You try to remember, but you can always all go onto the website and get the information as well. And so, for those that are looking to take advantage of the offer, where should they go to get started?
So either ZipX or BEDC's website, where you'll get all of the information and the steps available, in order to go through that process. If that seems a bit unclear or that's not helpful, again, just give us a call and
Yep.
we'll sort you out. And once you go through those steps, like I said, on our end, once you got your registered, your business license number, and you got your ZipX account, start shipping and
Start
we'll
shipping.
sort you out. Yeah.
I love that. All right. Well, any last words or shout outs that you want to, because I'm sure it takes a whole team to make this happen, right? So
Yes. So just a shout out to the whole team at ZipX IBC. Customer service, management, delivery drivers, all around. It takes a full team. Customs clearance. The customs officers don't directly work for us, but we do appreciate them working alongside us and the service that they provide. But yeah, shout out to the whole team because it takes the whole team to keep the operations going. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially when you have new initiatives, right? It's like
Yes.
not your regular. You're like, now what we got to do? Okay, right. But at the end of the day, I hope this partnership does bear fruit. I certainly think anytime you can give a savings to a small business,
Yes.
it's a win, right? Because like you said earlier, if they can use those funds to do something else in their business or it becomes a savings that they can pass on to their customers, who doesn't want to save money?
Yes.
Sign me up if I do. So I just want to thank you again, Jakai, for coming in, talking to us. We
Yes,
minded
no
a little
problem.
business today. And I just want to remind you and the listeners that if you don't mind your business, who will?
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamila Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.